Mene eye honorable Tweneboah Fokuo Babedin Komo or your deputy ranking economic and development committee parliament. Mene no Babedin Komo sisia and afi so ye MP for Rachel MP wenfa Manso Nkwanta good Manso Nkwanta and Babedi Nkomo sisi ane ahwe de course ndo de course of parliament na afi hu de ko ene de benyina honorable mem watching eba Kessben TV so and afi so Kessben 92.9
so minia mejo so me check phone so
obi aso eje so mejiri ye se hunamu bibia e bokọ de
bibia e bokọ
okay honorable yeni nkomo truly enra parliament passé a friend is saying misomo passé omo budget na finance minister de ebaye na wabekenkan akire ye nyina magana nyina na timamufo nyina yate de ekoso ene de eba for 2026 ene de ekoba nyina. First of my membisa, do you still believe that a budget is still lamentation budget?
Yo minia bidasi my son chair for being a Manso Nkwanta constituency Miami Presidency. The thing is a budget no I said that muhu no MPs Edika Yakna Sikan Pans and finance minister about the budget no near expectation is I check by 2 p.m. there Nankwa Badia Shishasu and so yeah start the budget no neck about 6 p.m. na obaye no to say the judgment shawunsa edisha won say if you official here e dia ba say November make sure finish query oba for no na friend say the kind of lamentations say abina da no you say what you say ya the judgment shawunsa e kwa finye what body and kasese no kasabe de enche adwuma no ese wo hunani so nti obeka bibia tre Ghana for ama Ghana for so ehun say the omo share osa no obetimi aye na said your sas ya no net say ni na sakwe the same lamentations and we are say and our porter we are say and we are say nti is a non-quan of spending so much time on so can say previous administration until previous administration no one nsema kusisen nani ade enti na mind for tomorrow amutoma se babaye adwuma na nyese beka complaining about previous administration enti no no ye one problem yes finance minister ohun se emwa na o ma funds me gidi so mo share TV no me gidi se nipa bebe o mo ni anye ho na yen share budget na nkasa budget no so shema de dikan pa ya na nipa enije ho mpeso mu hu say omen the friend say ye GDP no e be grow akosisi na se be nyina akodusen ko GDP no eno na chere oman no ye kan ko ye mpuntio bibia akoso e wo oman mo oman sikasem nyina eno mu nechina na no e be nyina kodrusen se o hwe reports ayenya na fia let's say GDP no grow at a rate of 6.3%. Independent institutions, international institutions, and so on. Also, a project say next year, say GDP will grow averagely around 6%. And so, we are to force about the kind budget, Also, next year, GDP it will grow at a rate of 4.8%. That is a na kakra say adia sabre kra no ye grow at 6.3%. Independent bodies among so ma quadre wo finances mu almost higher assessment at a project is a big grow at about 6%. That is a hono and trust mu papa so ye grow at 6.3% now then ya project is a ye grow for no ever conform then is on one kasa no the GDA war on one kasa the GDA war the economy the money say war form because they say at this time will grow 6.3 that's also next year but here form about 4.8 that is GDA war for next year no will form because we also na budget na ho odin na so when grow economy na GDP na better na revenue so akonanim so na aside this no we GDP na the growth no wa project ni so low na if you are afi ushema revenue so no the growth no and also dampened so ye sika nkase betimi atije so GDP ni de no your mining na ye japade ne mo ma part a to ni ade a ye ne grants na no na my revenue sika nkasa etimi di tuatua ye ho aka ani ade so na no uhwema no so ni projection no e wo form so ni projection no e wo form kra e wo form because sabria ye ka say afi also GDP revenue to GDP is 16%. So 16%. Na 16% na economy as you say here touting say is doing well. The economy is doing well. The economy is doing well. The economy is doing well. Yeah, tout here. Now I feel say revenue growth. Say here was 16% of GDP. I'll say the EBITDA in 2025 now is 16.8%. So 16 point net is the whole of next year no your revenue no the bit media become why 0.8%. 0.8%. So na no so form. Enti na say ye sika sema ye dey call 2026 mono e will form GDP projection no e will form revenue generation e will form na se we no more form he na obenya sika no e di our finances are no more be block kind no anwa okan ni ma bebre se utia de nwanwa kra ba ko mi so say afie da enimi aban no e ba be manuma obe create jobs na jobs no be create no or see 800,000 new jobs mutie ni yo etie for 800,000 new jobs. That is a cut 200,000 per na do 1 million no. Na same way no economy a fed any growth on the crown yenye optimistic about it any revenue benya. We see create jobs 800,000 in 1 year. Hey, any ana Ghana ekwe anymore 800,000.
Honorable, is not a plus, it's not a good one to see say you be my employment in that large scale.
Minya, we can be optimistic, but we must be realistic. Okay, we must be realistic. 800,000 new jobs. Come on, I mean, this year, sign or create year. This year, sign or create year. As you nimu ashena, na this year,
so no moka say abebi be one eso ain't no say if this year when who that massive push na definitely ono no nim ni nema omo hihye ne they have the 24-hour economy running, they have the big push, there are too many nema maybe omo ade atoto hono for say that 800 and kokon ketenkete is there to create the jobs ejumera by the NEIP. There are a whole lot of policies be on their total honum to see them achieve that 800,000 and now
Minya, you see kasa de nyade le mo miye so na say agroba say franopa afi jobs ne say no create here answer na obabeba power no ma promises be brace and programs are all kan yina no answer na obabeba power kikan yina oba power so the same finance minister obabe ready budget okani yina sa fie wo mu yobeye na buza wo sa fie wo mu insen oye na buna wo oman mu hwe de adwumasem asiaye problem arehosem esi wo elwak no adwumasem so adwumasem nipa hwe omonkwa ani ade etese adwuma ho ayedin the aban promises obey no ontimi nye na sa afimu untimi ma enuma now see you afie da manim de and the be peja akọ 800,000 Jesus more say aban etimi ma adwuma afi ba ko pe 800,000. Then who you? Now Ghana population yes Ghana. Ghana me but Ghana ni penyina o kabo mo yes. And I'll say afiba akupe. Ube mu 800,000 ejuma. Senya enta nyamia dumania nkebia 2026 so ka ban ni 4 years out the best sorry so no enso no. This any e ko fani pe free outside never be ye ejuma Ghana. Because afiba akupe me ma 800,000 and the remaining 3 years no Ghana hano yeah this year e be na shortfall e be ka for the penny be fi other countries e ba be yet ni ma wa ha enti the mechanism we ni track it so nyek kasa keke yenom se be track it say or see 800,000 yen twen mani nkosi say 2026 akwawie no na ebusa say you say month by month saying na o si achieve way so nyema bebre enwaka tie track it na ye magana for because nyema bebre overly optimistic idea ya ha ni dodo so ya ha ni na said the oka me kasi ya mawe me travel ya mawe big push or see almost 30 billion we na big push now say 30 billion on say no afi say now originally we say $10 billion. Afi say now the man who the share big push ni mo. Afi dey also $30 billion. Obi e say nti the mechanic say enyema be breba wakika no. Enye adia Ghana for say furniture say it me monitor. So na say the mechanic say the me o mukra ni adwuma so create my monitor. Say start here let's say by first quarter January February March ending no any 800,000 first quarter for Senwa creative second quarter by June Senwa creative third quarter by September Senwa creative na ye said the okano no kra na say enjana ko betimi aya na say
okay so before I move on to another one but Meka will say joining us on Zoom ebeye the head of business and then economic bureau of Guta Ura Kwesiapia be joining on Zoom for us to deal with the issues of almost sector and also as to how almost know. But clearly talking about still with the job, I quite remember if my memory serves me right that during the 8 years regime of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia came to tell us, he said, because of this mobile money interoperability and blah, 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 and all that in internet, we've been able to create 900,000 jobs. I mean, was it not scary to you at that time? But 800,000 is not optimistic for you?
Yeah, my brother, all that I'm saying is, yes, it's good to, promise. We need to be realistic, okay? We need to be realistic. I'm asking Ghanaians to monitor this. Let's track to see if indeed the government really mean what it's telling Ghanaians. If we keep on looking back and doing these comparisons, it's good. It's a political debate, but who is in the chair now? Ghanaians have given the NDC their votes. They are expecting returns. Okay, so it's a social contract.
Okay,
whatever you are telling them, you have to back it strongly. Otherwise, it will amount to deceit.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is they should hold the government accountable, and we are all there to do. Just that. Okay. And we need to monitor. That is what I was saying.
Okay.
That all these, pronouncements is quite a lot. If you listen to the budget, it's quite a lot. And we are going to design templates to be able to monitor this. Okay. Because the Ghanaian deserves to know.
Definitely. Honorable, hold on, I'm coming back to you on this issue of the COVID-19 levy, which is fully scrapped, Sisiano, and what you think it will be, for the economy and all that. But clearly on Zoom, Ora Kwesi Apia, who is the head business economic bureau of Guta, Kwesi Apia wala Zoom, so yen kone hona fe mene honorable so embra. So Kwesi ote menka me watching emo akwa baba Kessben TV na face so Kessben 92.9 bibia boko there.
Any major so beton can emiadem.
Okay.
The chair honorable name was what chief one of
Nice. Inti patcho ono camera ne my na afi hu wanim. On a line so uti opint, you know. We're going to have a good conversation today na afi ahead here. But clearly, uti your friend is saying finance minister a parliament and dra. Now clearly mo guta muhun is saying what will be your take on the year 2026 budget, you know.
Okay, that's a bit brave. In fact, we as a trade association, our hope was a little measured. Looking at where we have come from as a country, and a baby a year call, and we did so by looking at performance of our economy this year. When it's a business year, the hearing when it comes to the economy, it falls under the monetary side of the economy, which have to do with forex and a city's performance. To share how forex has been managed, how the city has outperformed major trading currencies, and how it has protected our working capitals, and how it has also influenced policy rates, which has also brought down Ghana referencing rate and that of lending rate. Like I said, it's an evidence that there's hope for tomorrow. It's when we're listening to the budget reading, we're just taking in what we're expecting. Most of them was about the VAT reforms, which of course falls under the fiscal policy. They gave us a promise that they are going to reform our VAT system, because we have earlier made some complaints to them, say, we shared the structure and the administration of VAT system now and more businesses. It collapsed businesses into a compliance will form. Compliance will form, it means government, you will not get your intended revenue. But as businesses, we are interested in helping you to achieve your revenue targets. It's actually some of the reforms that you can introduce to ensure self-compliance, accessibility, flexibility, and affordability within our VAT system. Its key issue was how earlier they decoupled the levies from the VAT system. You know, VAT was 15%. Then you have the levies, which is national health insurance, get fund, and COVID-19. That's 1%, making levy 6%, VAT 15%. Effective rate of VAT is around about 22%. Decoupling the levies from the what they call it, the VAT introduced what we call the cascading effects, which basically is tax on tax. And when you charge tax on tax, it defiles one of the principles of taxation. And because they decoupled levies from the VAT, the levy was like end tax, which you cannot claim as businesses. Even though under the standard rate, you can do the input and output, but the levies were not claimable. The 6% became a cost to businesses. That was also depleting our working capital. So they agree with us that there's a need to couple the levies to the VAT rate so that we can claim both VAT and that of the levy. In doing so, you are saving business about 6% of our working capitals. That, to some extent, is a relief to businesses. But we would have wished for more as businesses, because this relief alone is not the total panacea to the structure and the administrative deficiency of the VAT system. So we had made some proposition to government that let's make VAT much more affordable, especially benchmarking it against the sub-Saharan African country VAT rates. Across Africa or West Africa, the VAT system in terms of VAT is higher. That also affects mobilization.
Okay.
And the argument has always been that it's not about how your tax handles are that will ensure revenue mobilization, but making it much more responsive to market dynamics will increase your mobilization. Intuition, Africa countries, revenue in terms of tax revenue to GDP, there was Ghana there was 4. Notwithstanding, this step is probably a step or indication that in the future we could be getting what we are looking for.
Okay.
And so you also realize that we're having the flat rates, which also introduce some threshold in terms of sales turnover for some level of businesses. 200,000 turnover, you fall within the 4%. Now they have increased it to about 700,000.
Yeah.
That also brings some level of relief to business more or less at the startup level. Okay, saving these people those monies also give them the opportunity to grow.
Okay.
So that reforms to some extent is welcome, but as Olivers, we always will ask for more to ensure that our bus system, our tax system is sustainable and is business responsive to ensure self-compliance. Ensure government also gets sustained and reliable taxes from our community for economic growth.
Okay, so clearly, my member, Honorable Tweneboah Fokuo, what it tells us, and then it means, Guta, from what we are hearing, there's some form of a breather when it comes to a business in terms of would you appreciate that level of what they are seeing in the budget for 2026?
Yeah. I mean, I have listened to my brother. Yes, I don't have a challenge where a particular, tax arrangement is being simplified to make it easier, for business. Okay, so simplifying the VAT system, bringing in this flat rate, because sometimes the administrative work around is even, put people off, and people might end up even not, doing the returns and all that. So simplifying it is okay. Raising the threshold such that, smaller new businesses that are fragile could have some funds to run and all that. That is okay. You see, we don't debate because we just want to debate. Okay, so if this is going to bring relief to businesses, especially the new businesses that are just coming up, that is fine. But like I said, it goes beyond just addressing a segment of the issue. You are looking at the economy in its totality, and if the entire economy is doing well, its impact, goes everywhere. It goes to all sectors. Okay, and that is what we are looking at, a bigger chunk.
Okay.
So you ask yourself, yes, COVID levy now abolished, which is, was a promise they made.
Yeah.
They actually said they were going to abolish it this year, and this year they didn't do it. And I think then the coming year, they had no choice than to abolish it. It was their promise, and they had to do it. So, I'm not going to say, tax issues is going to bring relief, then we have problem with it. If it's supporting business, that's fine. But you see, there's one thing that mostly we get wrong, and we need to be careful. You see, we have to be careful the way taxation to do politics. Okay, here we are. If you look at the continent and even the sub-region, the West African sub-region, revenue to GDP, Ghana is among the lowest. We are amongst the lowest. Revenue to GDP. Those taxes no one are the support growth and development. So tax to GDP and as a revenue to GDP no form until we have to be careful how we meddle this with politics. Okay. And you see, we also have to be careful, the timing of some of these. Okay, the timing of some of these. In an economy, when you are taxing, you have to look at growth patterns as well. Okay, growth patterns as well.
Okay.
Different sectors, how they are doing, and is the time right to even either relax or increase the taxation there or not? Because it shouldn't be based on just promises, and you want to by hook or crook do this because you said it some years ago. Situations might have changed, and you see where taxation. This is how it works when you want it to work well. Where the economy is doing well, or when certain sectors are doing well. Of course, if you are doing well, we could look at taxing you. Accordingly. If you are not doing well, if you're struggling, we rather come in to save you, and if you're coming to save, then some relief and all that. Okay. So you look at the economy in totality, looking at its growth trajectory, and you ask yourself, is it time to tax more, or is rather time to give relief? Okay. And then you're looking at various sectors, various segments, like the SMEs and co. Is it time to give them more relief, or now they're doing well, we need to tax more to be able to support them more and all that? It should be a strategy, not just a promise and, I made a promise years ago, it must be done, hook or crook, whether it's going to be helpful, whether it falls within a strategy or not. But I don't want to belabor that because, we talk about it. But what I said earlier on is that the minister said a lot of things.
Yeah.
A lot of things. Various sectors, various programs, the allocations that he's made to various programs and so on. These are significant amounts of money.
Okay.
Ghanaians, like I said, should be monitoring.
Okay.
Giving allocations, but at the end of the day, are we going to see real disbursements? If you look at the 2025 budget, ask yourself, what percentage was even really expensed? Okay. All the budget that we approved, what percentage was expensed? Okay. So just allocating figures, we need to be careful, not to think that means yes, work done. No, we need to monitor to be sure that these funds are actually disbursed to support the programs that they are meant to support. So monitoring is key, and we are all here, to do so.
Honorable, you better say pass it when you're doing come you better baby when you're doing come up. You say.
All
right, so that was Honorable Tweneboah Fokuo MP Manso Nkwanta, Deputy Ranking